What is good? Welcome back to the Inner Growth Odyssey, where we dive deep into the heart of personal development and growth. I am fortunate your host on this journey towards self-discovery and improvement. First things first, I would like to thank you for the feedback that I've gotten from the very first episode about failure. It really means a lot. So today we're going to be talking overcoming negative thoughts. It is also under the developing a positive mindset sphere. So you end up asking yourself, Mara, why do we experience negative thoughts? But it turns out that our brains are wired to react and to remember the negative experiences more intensely as a part of our survival mechanism. While this might have been crucial for our ancestors, in today's world, it can lead to a skewed perception of reality where negative thoughts get the upper hand. So now we are going to tackle these thoughts head on. We're going to be talking about how to tackle these thoughts. And the first step will be to recognize them. It sounds quite simple, right? I know, but it is the foundation for everything that follows. The moment you realize a thought that is negative, that is creeping up on you, you must pay close attention to that thought. You must pay close attention to your thought patterns. You ask yourself, when do these thoughts surface? What are they about? And you must also understand then when and what, because they can give you the clue to why. When I say that is when the thought occurred, what made the thought to appear, and why is it appearing? The when, what, why, when, where, all of those things. Because once you handling the recognition of those thoughts, the next step would be to challenge them. And when I mean challenge them, I mean head on. This is where things get quite interesting, because you ask yourself, is the thought really true? Is this thing vele? And then you must ask yourself, what evidence do I have to support or to refute this thought? And more often than not, you'll find that negative thoughts are quite based on fear and assumptions rather than facts, because you fear something is going to happen and you assume that something is going to happen, hence fear starts to arise. But fact is, what if this does not happen? Fact, this is not going to happen. We must first recognize the negative thoughts. And then we must also ask ourselves, are the thoughts really, really true? Ngempela, is this what is happening? Now we can talk about reframing. When that thought appears, changing the narrative of that negative thought and making it a more positive or a more realistic one. Let's say, for instance, you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be good at this. That's your thought, ne? You must try to reframe that thought too. I may not be where I want to be yet, but with practice and patience, I can improve. Instead of that thought that you had in the beginning, I'll never be good at this. I will never be good at dancing. I will never be good at this subject. I will never be good in entrepreneurship. I will never be good in my studies. Instead saying, I may not be where I want to be yet, but with practice and patience that I have for this thing, if I practice more towards my studies, if I practice this module more, or if I try to perfect my skills, and when I am patient enough, I can improve, right? Because reframing isn't about denying your feelings, no. It is instead about looking at them from a different and a more empowering angle. I hope this makes sense. Another strategy that has helped me personally is to practice gratitude. It might sound unrelated at first, but focusing on the things I am grateful for, I find it easier to put the negative thoughts that might creep up on me into perspective. Because I try starting or ending my day by listing 3 things that I'm thankful for. This can also be helpful to you too. It's quite simple. It's very, very simple, but it has a very big impact on on combating negative thoughts whenever they start to creep up on you, because first thing in the morning or the last thing at night, you wrote what you're grateful for on that specific day. You can write it on your phone, you can keep a journal, you can write it, anywhere, but just write the three things that you're thankful for. That'll definitely help you. But let's not forget the importance of self-compassion in this journey of overcoming negative thoughts, because it is not an overnight process really, but it is okay to have setbacks. You must be kind to yourself, and you must remember that you're not alone in feeling this way. You're not the only one who's experiencing negative thoughts, and remember that every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. I always say slow progress is still progress, because you're not standing still. You are not standing still. But before we wrap up, I want to leave you with the thought. Our minds are incredibly powerful, but they don't always have our best interests at heart. The brain is a very powerful organ in our body, and it can definitely alter our future. It can either send us down the drain, or it can make us shoot for the stars. The brain is very powerful. We must learn to recognize, challenge, and reframe negative thoughts. It's like training a muscle. The more you do it, the stronger you become, and the more control you have over your mental landscape. I hope this makes sense, and I hope this is going to help you. So remember, whenever a negative thought starts to creep up on you, just remember these three things. You must recognize it. You must recognize it at first. Nah, this is a negative thought. I'm not for it. And then you must also challenge that negative thought. Ask yourself, is this really true? Like, is it subjective or is it objective? Subjectivity is based on how you feel. Objectivity is based on facts. And then thirdly, you must reframe those negative thoughts. Reframe them. Turn them into a more positive outlook. Turn them into a positive statement. And remember to practice gratitude. I would like to thank you for joining me on the Inner Growth Odyssey today. I hope this episode has given you some valuable tools to tackle negative thoughts and to see the world in a more positive light. If you enjoyed our time together, again, please give me a follow, leave a rating, and also give me your thoughts on what you think. And also please remember that I am in partnership with Motivated Mindset, a YouTube channel. I will leave their link in the description below. Please kindly give them a follow and leave a review for me. Your support means everything. So until next time, I want you to keep striving for a better and a more positive life. So please remember to stay kind at all times. It doesn't cost anything. And please remember that God loves you always.